In this day and age, we have made strides in communication and technology, and it's growing faster than ever. The internet has come a long way, and I think it's important that we take a look at our modern chat rooms and see how far we've come. Oh. Hi there. Virtual reality. What seemed to be far in the future and inaccessible is free to acquire for consumer use at this current moment. And it's cheaper than you may believe. People have taken this platform and turned it into a means to communicate and make friends all over the globe. VRChat, a free-to-play online chat room that allows you to do almost anything in virtual reality. It's opened up a plethora of possibilities in its recent years. But what has it done to us? How has this virtual world affected us as people? Are we blossoming socially, or just using it as a means to escape a cruel and harsh reality that we do not wish to confront? Considering how close of an upbringing I have had to the internet, I always find it interesting how other people tend to act and react in a completely online space. VRChat is wonderful for this. It allows you to meet so many different people from alternate walks of life. Anonymity is a big reason any of this social interaction is possible. Being able to hide your face and body is something so empowering, and I think it's both a blessing and a curse. As much as we would all like to hide behind this facade, it's no doubt that virtual reality is a temporary escape for many people. Many people gain confidence to be proud of themselves and specific things they are interested in, as they meet like-minded individuals from across the far expanses of their own countries. Some people have built their livelihoods from this platform and turned it into a basis for creative exploration and artistic expression, whether it be streamers, YouTubers, musical artists, and even dancers. Everyone has their own place in the game, where they can be comfortable and happy. I would like to believe this has helped them become more confident in themselves in the real world, but solely wondering won't help. So let's ask them ourselves. What do the people of VRChat think they have grown into? Has access to video games inhibited your ability to interact socially?
No.
Access to video games. I'd say definitely, but I don't know, at the same time, because of games like VRChat, it gives people a little bit... I think it's definitely better than traditional gaming.
Absolutely not. The complete opposite. Because of this type of format, I've definitely come out of my shell a lot of growing up as a homeschooler. Like, definitely, this was a way that allowed me to express myself and like learn and go through teasing and the mental fortitude that I had to build up so that I could go socially talk to people in college and become somewhat of a tolerable person that would have a lot of friends in college. So complete 180 from any interpretation of it being a actual hindrance to my social experience in real life.
In general, playing games has made me more social and has made me way more like talkative and able to just like go up to people and say hello even though I don't know them. In games. I don't do that in real life even though I would want to. But like having played games for years has allowed me to speak to other people who play games. Because there's like a common ground to talk about stuff.
We are right now living in a day and age that is inhibiting us from socially interacting with each other, due to the recent events with the spread of COVID-19. With this, There has been a recent influx of players who have either returned or introduced themselves to this virtual world in order to combat their lack of social interaction with friends. This platform was made for situations like this, a modern problem with an almost futuristic solution. Others have been able to flourish in this time of panic and quarantine using this platform, and I think it's something wonderful to build upon and nurture for the betterment of ourselves and a wider understanding of everyone around us, near or far. I personally believe that the game has helped people grow in their own social awareness and taught them how to carry themselves as individuals in the conversation. It personally really helped me to come out of my shell and become a more confident person in my voice and the way that I speak. I can only thank those I have met in my hours of aimless wandering in the great plains of the internet, as like many others around me, they have shaped me into the person that I am today. Do you feel more confident online than you do in real life?
Yes, definitely.
Surprise for me, I feel like my situation might be a little bit more unique than the average gamer, but I would say no. I'm actually sometimes way more uncomfortable online than I am in real life. Like I don't know how to break the ice with people, whereas in real life I can talk to anybody about anything, but online it's a lot more difficult for me.
Absolutely. Because online you get to project who you want to be, persona per se. You get to be more confident, as there's much less consequences from being online than in being in person.
Well, it depends. Like I would say so because I'm still like a shy person, so I'm still shy in both like on VRChats or like in games, and the same is it in like real life.
Yes, because I can actually like express myself, express my interests. I do get judged sometimes, but I actually got used to that. Like that doesn't bother me as much, because when I use like furry avatars, of course, there's going to be a few people that insult me, but that just mostly goes over my head because I know that I actually did nothing wrong. And so that it doesn't insult me, it just annoys me a little bit.
This platform has given people a freedom to speak to whomever they please, whenever they please, from the comfort of their own homes, which is incredible and most likely going to be a prominent part of our future social engagements. It's up to us to shape our social climate and see what really becomes of virtual reality and how it forms us into who we want to be. We seem to quickly forget that people are human, and the ones that we meet online are just a projection of the people that they want to be, and what they want to do. It's very easy to dehumanize people we meet in an online space, and I think it's important to enter the conversation with an open mind about who you are speaking to. We are naturally quite quick to judge, and we barely even notice that we're doing it. I'm glad that people have found a means to connect through virtual reality, and make long-lasting companionships without physical face-to-face contact. It shows how we are adapting to a completely different social environment, and if anything, it's helping us become more outgoing people as a result. Do you feel more confident in yourself as a result of playing games and meeting people online?
Yeah, because you can learn a lot, and you can definitely gauge what type of jokes you'd want to say or not. You can gauge a lot of very expressive ways that you can put on here, get a reaction, then see, okay, and if I did that in real life, it probably would have been somewhat much worser.
I would actually say yes, just because when I first started playing this, I was much more kind of keeping myself muted. But after playing it for a while and just kind of actually talking with people, it's because this game's very interesting, being able to talk directly with people, but also be at a distance. So I would say that just being able to initiate that dialogue, yes, actually does build up confidence.
I'd say yes, because the certain friend groups that I've met over time have built up some confidence. You just kind of become who you want to be. Like your fucking persona, you start to slip into it, and actually makes you better.
I guess I'd say yeah. Depends on what I accomplish.
Yes, very much so, yeah. confidence has gone way up since I've been playing a lot more video games and meeting people. Yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Especially with the stuff I do. So.
No, not really.
And we've barely even scratched the surface of what VRChat is capable of. This chat room sets a precedent for our future, and it's important that we take a good look at everything it has to offer. As much as I would love to be blinded by the light, the brighter the flame, the darker the shadow that lurks behind it. I'm sure seasoned internet veterans will have had their fair share of creepy and uncomfortable experiences online. We hear about select stories in the media, but what about the bigger picture? What has the virtual world done to assist the increase in deplorable behaviour online? As much as VRChat is a platform for connections, it too has its share of parasites and what we will describe as less than desirable characters and personalities.
It started a couple of years back, right? So it was about 2 years ago. Essentially, I met a girl on VRChat, and this was a period in time where it was very new to me, kind of. Like, I played VRChat for a while. She turned out to be very young. Well, not a big deal. It's like, okay, whatever. There was no romantic involvement whatsoever or anything like that. However, like, she really wanted that. She would actually threaten herself by writing DMs to me and things like that. And there were times I got images when she sent them where she would cut herself. Yeah, so I threatened her multiple times. If she stopped DMing me, I would block her. Right? And over a time, like, this would happen, like, it would be like this, right? You would tell her stop DMing, and then she would stop. And then 2 weeks later, she would write again when she would feel bad. And back then I was a bit too kind. I was like, this is just a really, really young person and stuff like that. So so eventually it got so bad where I was like, okay, if you do any more DMs, I would essentially block it. Got so bad where she would write these DMs and she would send pictures of herself cutting herself. It wasn't very bad, right? But it was frightening, right? I was like, okay, this is alarming. This needs to stop. Thank God she stopped DMing me for about 4 months. And then it wasn't actually me who met her in VRChat, right? It was actually my girlfriend. I was dating a girl at the time, which was also extra with. So, she saw her in a game, and she was doing the same shit to another guy. But the difference is, she didn't tell him his age. Her age, Tim. So he was like probably my age. I'm not too sure. He sounded like he was in my demographic. And, like, she talked to the guy. He first asked, hey, you got any proof, etc., this person's this age, right? So what she's been, and I sent her basically some DMs we had, and where she confirmed that she was like 14, really young. And yeah, he said thank you, and that was the end of that. But the alarming thing, it happens often, right? So, like, this is where I'm getting to. I've seen so many instances of really young people in this game that are in this hyper-sexualized environment, and they're just like, well, they're trapping people who are really old. I've never had it, but I had an instance where something bad could have happened, right? And yeah, man, that's really it. I wish that VRChat would be a bit more alarming. If people maybe would have more focus on it, but it's really hard to moderate that. Maybe if people are just more collectively aware, it might be better.
Alright, so I was playing VRChat one time with me and my friends, and we were on this world and we were all drinking. And it was a private world, and so I met some of my friends' friends and etc. And anyways, I was talking to this one person I thought it was a girl, but obviously I don't trust people these days, so I was just like, oh, I just been friends and shit. And anyways, yeah, we're having a good time and such, and she was asking me like, oh, do you have Discord? Like, I did not know what the fuck Discord was, because like this was towards the start when I got VRChat, because I only got VRChat about like 3 months ago. And yeah, so I created a Discord account, and she was the first person I added in this, etc. And then, anyways, I ended up getting too drunk, and I passed out that night. I literally woke up with a fall with my VR headset on. Anyways, and I woke up and I saw my phone had messages from that girl, and she was like full talking to me and saying some pretty sus stuff, like, a bit of weird stuff. So I was like, oh, I was just talking back and etc. And then she started asking like, oh, do you also live in Australia, that's where I live. And just started getting like a bit weird when asking where I precisely live. I'm like, I'm not going to give where I live. No, I'll tell you that, only Australian, that's it. And yeah, anyways, it just kept going on, and they really wanted my address and stuff. And she was like, "Oh, I can send you little gifts and things." And I was just like, "No, that's it. This is getting too sus." And anyways, for days on, she kept sending me messages and messages, and I was just like, I'm not even replying anymore. I was like, just go back to delete the app because I didn't have no one else on it. So I was like, oh fuck it. Anyways, next minute I receive a picture, and it's a fucking dick.
He added me on Discord, and we started talking more and talking more. Because I just thought he was just being nice. I was delusional. I didn't know what was going on. And then we called one night because I was bored, he was bored, and we were just like, fuck it, we'll chill. Like I said, I was dumb. And he was making me an avatar, and he was trying to get me to do some very lewd and inappropriate things, knowing that I was 15, even though he was like 30. And it was I didn't do them because I was smart-ish, but it was definitely not a good experience. And then he like I said, he knew that I was so young, and that was really what freaked me out. And he lived near me. He lived like 20 minutes away from me, and that was also terrifying. So I ended up blocking him afterwards, but every once in a while he'll like pop up in like my Discord DMs or like through a different account and on different VRChat accounts and try to come and find me, because apparently he like fell in love with me or whatever. Still something that happened, like I literally saw him like a week ago and it's been almost a year.
We have security measures to keep people safe online, with blocking, reporting, and other methods, but how effective are they? Especially when the perpetrators slip through our defences undetected. We don't seem to understand how vulnerable we are when we're online. As safe as we'd like to believe we are, truly, we aren't.
In VRChat you can be free, you can be also become whoever you want to be, which you cannot appear like in real life. So some people overdo that and in fact do something very bad, which I saw a lot of time. Like maybe not being myself the victim, but others being the victim. And like they're insulting people or maybe just muting them, and before muting them saying something bad to him like, oh man, I don't like your voice, or oh, I don't want to hear that guy, he's annoying, and stuff like that. And also some people which you don't really know that long, they can be very rude to you, like can say some shit they don't know about you, and like these really toxic people on these platforms running around everywhere. You never see them coming. Like some people really just want to chat, but some are just saying bad things and stuff. Like it's really annoying because it feels like some people don't have a life. But I not only discovered that on VRChat, also on Discord. So it's like mainly usual, and I got used to it. I don't get insulted, but anyways, these people exist and it sucks. It's like really sad. Some people have to hurt others to kind of feel some strength, which they only gain by doing something on a computer game which is meant for everyone.
And somebody was being a terrible individual and was caught cheating as well, and I banned him from my Minecraft server. He then proceeded to threaten to slit the throat of all of my family members and then my wife. So that's something that happened.
It's not as if this was anything new. It's been happening for as long as chat rooms and online interaction became a normality. And of course, it's affected the way the media portrays the online world and how we approach our interactions in the virtual space. Staying safe online is an absolute that must not be ignored, and it's something that we should press everyone to educate themselves upon. It's not as if danger is creeping around every corner. These troglodytes only make up a small percentage of a massive community of individuals who do not endorse their behaviour or promote it in any way. Behind the stories, exaggerations and deceit, there is an incredibly vast world to learn about, and a journey to discover companionship and content with existence throughout. Whether you like it or not, the virtual space holds a fair say in our social lives today. It affects the way we think and react to everything happening around us, and it's pivotal that we study the impact it has upon us as individuals, whether it be the good or the bad.